I've just spent the better part of 2 weeks painting my car. It's looking fantastic, and that now means we've got to get it back together, get it MOT'd, and get it back on the road. Let's do it.
Coming up in the video...
I've messed up. Interesting. I didn't notice this when I took it off.
What the hell is that? Okay, so...
There's going to be a slight overlap with these videos because the painting technically isn't finished. I've got to wait another week for the paint to cure. So in the meantime, I'm going to make a start on getting the car back together. That means taking off all this tape, putting the trims back on, putting the door cards on, putting the internal panels back in. There's a lot of work to do to get this thing back together. And then we've got to get it ready for the MOT. I am not sure this car is going to pass its MOT the first time. It's been off the road for nearly 13 years. There's going to be a few things that might need changing, but we're not really going to know until we do it. Will it pass first time? I don't know. Let's find out.
First things first, and this is something I've been wanting to do for weeks, is take off this tape from where I was painting, as well as everything else. This is going to be good.
I've been wanting to do this for about 2 weeks now.
It was so satisfying finally being able to peel this tape off. It took me about 4 weeks to paint this car. It's not perfect, but I did it. It was one of the hardest things I've done to a car, and now taking the tape off means it's done. I can move on to more interesting things. Next up is getting the rear taillights in.
A little bit dusty, but should still work. Click. It's good. There we go. Starting to look like a car again. Interesting. I didn't notice this when I took it off. Obviously someone's been in there, tried to do something. On this side, it's hard to tell if this has actually been painted properly. You can see there's some red there, but it's actually just from this.
Next up was getting the door card back on. It was pretty straightforward, apart from the 4 screws that go in the 4 holes, and they're all completely different shaped screws, so I kind of just had to guess and try and remember which one goes where. Got it wrong a few times, but got it in the end.
I missed this bit of trim, so I've got to take this off, try and peel this edge away if I can, and then squeeze it behind. Because I was like, why is this bit red? Why did I miss that bit? But I didn't. It's just because there's a bit of trim that goes there. But I've not put it back in the right order. So take this off, unscrew that, prise that away. Cool. And then same for this side. A bit here, I was like, why is it red? Because there's a bit of trim that goes there. So I need to run the trim along the bottom all the way up to there, squidge that back in. Hopefully, again, I can just peel that away and then stuff it into place. And then the door's done. I've messed up. Very nicely run it along the edge. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Got to here, I was like, oh, it's a bit twisted. I realized I've twisted it around a couple of times, so I'm gonna have to take off what I've done. Probably start from this side, take this off as well. It's okay, it takes 2 minutes to fix. Where is it? There it is. Beep, 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 beep. Oh, I can't show you that, can I?
Next up is getting the side vents on. These are really going to complete the look of the car, and it's going to make it look a lot more finished now that all the pieces are starting to go back on. Another thing I was really excited about is lowering the car back down. I wanted to see how the car sat, how it all looked, and it's looking great. Here I'm putting all the screws and the clips back into this trim. I then had this small piece of rubber trim on the inside of the bonnet. All the clips were shot, so they all needed to be replaced. Luckily, I've got a universal clip box, so I just swapped them out for some brand new ones. I did put these pieces back in the front, but then I realized I needed to bleed the coolant system because I haven't actually put any coolant in there yet. So I'm going to leave these off, sort out the radiator and the coolant, and then I'll put them back in afterwards. When you start putting the stuff back together after having worked on a car, it's always such a nice feeling when you can start getting the little bits back on, closing the bonnet, taking some of the tape off the window. It's really nice because you know you're working towards the finished goal.
Car's really coming together now. It's I can see it. It's finally here. Like all the work and all the time I spent doing it is making sense now. It's really, really exciting. Next bit I want to do is just clean the windows because I think that already in itself is going to make this look so much better. So let's do that. Looking so much better. A couple of bits of glue from the tape, which I will get off, but I don't want to get off right now. I'll use some like acetone or white spirit or something to get that off, but I don't want to get it on the paint that's still curing, so I'm just going to leave that for now.
Kept putting off booking the MOT for this car, so I've booked it for in 7 days. That means I've got to crack on with all these little jobs which I think need to be done for it to pass. This is a brand new battery which is about twice the size of the original. I know it's a bit overkill, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. I'm checking the voltage to make sure the battery's good to go. It looks to be about 12.4 and I'm happy. Next up is the passenger window, which doesn't seem to be working.
So I just went in here trying to find where the switch connects to the motor, but it's actually not here. It's here, much easier. So I've just found here. I'm just going to disconnect this. So I've disconnected the switch. I've got my multimeter connected up to the terminals on the switch. So in theory, when I press this button here, that should show the same voltage as the battery. That means the power is coming from the switch to there. I'm wondering if it's maybe one of the fuses that's gone, or the switch, or the actual motor. Ready? And doing it now. No, nothing. I'm looking on the forums and someone said, have you made sure you haven't actually bumped one of the buttons on the dash? That looks like a window. Hands over here, switch. Oh! Oh, it does work! Which one was it? Is it that one? Ooh. No, okay. Unlock. Yes! Yes! Oh, that's so good. That saved me some money and some time. Win-win. Right, let's crack on.
Next up is attaching the tail lights. Well done, Gabe. I've no idea what this is for. It's wired into one of the oxygen sensors, but for the time being, I'm going to take the tape off and put a cable tie on because it's melting the tape. Next, the coolant expansion tank gets screwed back in. I've reattached the rear hardtop mounts. I also need to fill the car up with fuel. I'm about 10 minutes away from a petrol station, and having run the car in the garage doing tests, I've kind of run out of fuel. Neither of the rear number plate lights were working. Luckily, I actually had replacement parts for these anyway, so I've just swapped them out. Easy fix. Then I need to attach the number plate mount. I then wanted to get the front headlights in. I needed to detach the front bumper and some of the side wing so I could get access so I could put the headlights in. With all the rain you get in England, you have to have windscreen wipers, so that was next up on the list. I was actually really excited to get the wipers on. It felt like quite a sort of momentous occasion. And nothing goes better with wipers than wiper spray nozzles. These just pushed into place super easy, and after running a couple of hoses, it was time to test them out. No, Gabe, those are the lights. Hell yeah. The wiper fluid is about 13 years old, and it came out like bogeys. It was absolutely disgusting. Okay, so to get the coolant moving around the whole system, I need to start the engine and get the car up to running temperature. There's definitely a weird noise coming from the engine. I'm not sure what it is, and I'll have to investigate later, but for now we just need to crack on. If you know what it is, let me know in the comments. I want to be able to see what I'm doing while I'm driving, so let's put the rear view mirror in. It comes with a 2-part glue, and then I've just taped it in place while the glue dries. Here I've reinstalled the front panels. It's really exciting because it means that the front end is almost finished. But that means moving on to the next bit, which is cleaning the inside, and it is disgusting in here. There is dust and crap everywhere. That also means it's going to be very satisfying wiping stuff down. I accidentally spilt a load of super glue on the driver's seat. The only way I could think to get this out was putting some acetone on it, letting it soak for a bit, and then trying to get it out. It is not the best situation, but I've got some leather restorer which will hopefully fix some of these errors. A quick wipe down makes a huge difference.
Right, it is officially the day we're doing the MOT. I'm quite nervous, but I kind of know that the car's gonna fail, so it doesn't really matter because I'm just seeing what needs fixing. So then I can take it back for the MOT, ready to go, pass the MOT and drive away into the sunset. So let's do it.
While the car's warming up, I just wanted to check that all the lug nuts were tight, and 2 weren't, so I'm glad I did check.
Right, here we go, officially driving out of the garage.
Just gonna take it nice and slow. There are a lot of noises. I was slightly in denial, so I didn't film it, but I was getting a lot of smoke from the exhaust a couple of days prior. Luckily, this all cleared up after having driven it for a bit. This was the first time I could get a proper look at the car, because being in the garage, I'm kind of squished in, so I can't really see everything, and it is looking great. This isn't looking great though.
So as you probably just saw, the car engine management light has just come on, which is annoying, but apparently not an MOT fail if the car is pre-2002. Mine's 2001. Perfect. The car is definitely going to fail. As I was driving along, the indicators weren't working. So Yeah, just one of those ones. But I've still taken it because I just need to know what to fix. Taking myself off for a walk because I find this very stressful, as I'm sure everyone does. But hopefully the list isn't too long and we can crack on with it and we can get this car back on the road and finally legal after 13 years. It's crazy. It's been off the road 13 years. So I'm going to head back to the MOT centre and I will catch you guys in a sec. Not a good sign it's out already. Well, you cheeky little bugger of a car. This car having been off the road for 13 years, I was expecting so much to be wrong with it. Tie rods, bushings, all that kind of stuff, all that stuff that is perishable after having been on the road for so long. Turns out being off the road, it's not exposed to the elements or the salt or the grit or anything like that. So actually, all of it was fine. The only things that need fixing, indicators don't work. I knew that coming into it. The side indicators don't work. They're not actually on, but I've got some replacements at home, which I'm going to be fitting. The battery's insecure, but not likely to fall out. I basically need to strap it down to the actual car. I just wedged it in place for the time being. Wedged it in strongly so it was safe and secure, but not permanent. Engine management lights on. I'm not really sure what that's going to be. We're going to have a look at that when we get back to the garage. Service brake binding, but not excessively offside front. And then the brake pads at the front are thin. I've ordered a set of brakes and pads for the whole car, so that's going to be sorted. And this car's back on the road and legal. This is crazy. Right, let's get back to the garage.
Having changed the piston rings in the car, I needed to drive the car gently, give the piston rings a chance to seat in.
All right, we're back in the garage after a very successful MOT. What do we have to do next though? Toyota M.O.T Mark III. It's quite a long list actually. But the main things we need to do for the MOT, position lamp front, all the indicators, side repeaters, secure the battery, engine management light, change the brakes. So position lamp front and all the indicators. I think those are pretty easy ones. Could just be the fuses. So let's check that first. Oh man, I do love an easy fix. There we go. Indicators and hazard lights sorted. The fuse was missing. It's that light blue one that I've just put in. Weird. So we can tick that off the list. That's done. Next, let's do the side repeaters. I decided to go for a little upgrade for these because I want most of the car to be black. So I've got this. I've got some plastic film on it because I don't want to get it scratched before I put it in. But it is an LED indicator which does the zzz, zzz thing. Really easy. Got this connector which is the same as the bulb. If I pull the bulb out, they've both got the same connectors on them. So this should just pop into there. And then that's the wiper. Yeah, look at that, that's sick. The only issue with these is they're slightly bigger than the OEM parts, so I'm gonna have to cut a little bit of the sheet metal out. I've just made a little stencil of what I need to cut out. So I'm just gonna put this in place. I've just got this pick tool, but it's got a nice sharp end. Be able to scratch into my nice, fresh paint. Right, safety third.
Now, should I have done this before I painted the car? Yes. Did I do a very good job doing it now? No.
Take this up just so it hopefully stops any water getting in there. Orientation. So we want it that way, which is what we've done, which is good.
Here I'm just touching up the exposed metal with some hammerite straight to rust. This is really thick paint, so it should protect it well. I'm a give it a go and see what happens kind of guy. That means that sometimes stuff goes wrong. This side wasn't the best, but the other side looked a lot better. So overall, I'm happy.
The reason the driving lights weren't working is because both bulbs had gone. It was just a coincidence. Both of them had blown. Swap those out. They're now working. On to the next bit. So this piece is broken off. I'm thinking I can maybe use some staples as like some anchors to weld it in. People are wearing a mask for this. This stuff doesn't smell great. Okay, come on. Get in there.
Right, let's get the epoxy.
Okay, mixy. Cable tie, probably not the best thing for mixing. A little bit flexible. We're getting it, look at that. Beautiful. It's gonna be a delicious cake. And then that's that done. Ooh, do not wanna glue it to the fender. Chuff with that. It's not beautiful, but it should be structurally sound. It's only literally got to hold a bolt there and it just stops this from jiggling around too much. Yeah, I'm gonna let that cure, probably gonna be a couple of hours, come back, tighten the bolt down. Then I can close the bonnet and the front end is done. This is the oxygen sensor I've pulled off the car. It wasn't even screwed in properly, probably causing a little bit of blowback. I think this car didn't have a pre-cat when I bought it.
The catalytic converter is part of the exhaust system, and its function is to trap harmful emissions like CO2 from exiting the exhaust. It does this by catching the gases in its honeycomb interior, comprised of rare earth materials. The goal of the catalytic converter, or CATs, is to reduce the emissions coming from the car. Some cars like the M.O.T Mark III have a secondary cat that sits closer to the engine called a pre-cat. This is to try and reduce emissions even further. The MR2, however, has a common issue where the insides of the precat are known to break up and chunks get sucked back into the engine and cause catastrophic damage. To counter this, lots of people replace the precats with a straight-through exhaust manifold, as you can see here. This can also give you a different reading on the precat oxygen sensor, as the amount of oxygen passing through is now different. To counter this, some people alter the wiring of the oxygen sensor.
So I'm going to try and fix it. I'm going to try and get these wires into a place where I can connect these ones back to these ones. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it because it's quite short, but I'm going to give it a go.
I wired everything back up and sealed it in with some electrical tape. This isn't the finished product. I want to test drive it first and make sure it's okay before I seal everything in. Next up, probably one of the most important parts of the car, the head unit. It doesn't quite fit in the space that was originally there, so I need to cut a bit away so I can put it in. It's a bit of a snug fit, but that just means it's not going to wiggle around. I recently bought this carpet vacuum, which is great, and it really gets up all the dirt and grime on the carpets. I'm also using it on the seats because, well, why not? Following along with this interior, I wanted to glue back on some of this rear fabric. I used some spray adhesive that I sprayed on the panel and the fabric. This is where some of the paint had rippled and kind of crinkled up. It was a bit weird, but I just sanded it down and then sprayed back over it, and it looked fine. Next on the list of things to do for the MOT was check what was causing the engine management light. I scanned the car when I got back from the MOT, so this was before I repaired the oxygen sensor. So that oxygen sensor heater circuit one, that's already fixed. But the VVT sensor camshaft position one could mean that the timing is out. So I'm gonna have to delve into the engine and investigate. I'm revving the engine to see if I can hear anything, and there's definitely a ticking at around 2,500 RPM. This could be caused by a loose timing chain, and I think that might be the issue.
Fortunately, it looks like the timing chain needs to be replaced. Not the end of the world, but I'm not gonna have time to do it this week. So catch me next week where I tackle the timing chain and I get the car finished and MOT'd. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next week for timing chains. Woo! Bye.